So I went and bought myself an all-in-one from Ulta on Black Friday, and I am so excited to try it. Normally when I straighten my hair, I need like the round brush and the blow dryer, and I'm like, you know, it's like a lot of work. So I'm super excited to try this on Ethnic Hair and review it for you guys. I do have stuff on my teeth, so I apologize, but I'm gonna show you my routine and let's see how this compares, because I have high hopes. I am hoping, praying. The only thing first off the bat that I can tell you that I'm scared is that this round brush works so well because it's metal, and it heats up so hot that it straightens the hair. And this looks, honestly, it looks plastic. So I'm kind of scared, but I'm excited. So my first step is usually, well, I don't towel dry it. Step number one is when I towel dry it, it just gets way too dry, way too fast. So mostly damp. This is just a heat protectant, and I put this on my hair while it's still wet, and then I usually actually go back in on the smaller sections and do it too. But after I put this in my hair a little bit, I section it into 4 sections: top right, top left, bottom right, bottom left. So once I do that, I'll be right back. So I find that if you keep it in like these little space buns, they don't dry out as fast. So that's what I do. And then now I have a smaller section. I definitely will not do all of this piece at once, but I do put the heat protectant throughout it. And I'll take about a section it's all about small sections if you want a blow dried look to be wearable with curly hair, because if you do too big of a section, you're gonna end up with a fro. So I do a section probably about this big. This is a pretty big round brush compared to the one that I normally use. So I don't know if maybe I can try and do bigger ones, but we'll start off with a section like that. And you know, I love products like this, but it's really hard to find reviews on whether or not it works on Ethnic Hair. So you kind of just have to try for yourself. So I'm gonna turn it on and give it a go. Let's see. So they have cool, low, and high. Cool, low, and high. Let's try. Yeah. It actually combs through really smooth. I'm impressed at how smoothly it combs. It's not as hot as my blow dryer. It doesn't seem to be as hot, but it's doing okay. I will say, after this many passes with my metal round brush, it probably would have been pretty straight by now, so I think this does take longer. I also cannot get as good of a grip on my hair as my round brush, so I just want to show you. My round brush really grips that hair. I don't even have to hold it. These bristles are so flexible that it doesn't really give as much tension. So my first thoughts are that it's definitely not going to work as well as this. I really do think it has to do with the fact, oh, that's hot. I really do think that it has to do with the fact that this is metal maybe, or maybe it's just because these bristles grip the hair better. It definitely did dry my hair. It's completely dry, but it's not as straight as I would like it to be, but I'm not gonna give up. It did take longer than what I would have liked. And with my blow dry method and round brush, it maybe takes like 4 or 5 swipes. So I feel like this is gonna be a longer process, but I'm gonna show you when I'm like halfway done. One thing that I did notice right now is that because it doesn't have as much tension, if I hold and pull down while I'm brushing through, it does get more of the heat from the inside, which is the part that makes it so flat. So far, I don't hate it. Not sure if I love it, but let's keep going. Just for those who are also following what I do, I should also tell you that once I get a piece that's dry and done, I do rubber band it off so that it doesn't get caught up in the next small section that I'm gonna do. So I tried a thicker section just to see how that affected things. And honestly, I thought it wasn't going to be as good, but the thicker section actually might be better because this is a thicker brush. The thicker section felt like it had more tension. So I'm going to try that moving forward, a little bit of a thicker section, and see how that works out. I would normally never do a section this wide. I would probably split this into two. So let's see how it does. I'm gonna say I think the thicker section is the way to go. It takes a little bit longer. Well, it was taking longer anyway, but the thicker section seems to have some more tension to it. So already I can tell that my ends are much thicker than they would be with my normal method. So I'm just gonna do like the slightest spritz of heat protectant because I really don't want to, ruin my hair by overheating it. But I'm gonna try and get those ends just like a little bit more. So far, in comparison, like if my usual way is a 10, I'm gonna give this like an 8 or a 9. Another thing that I'm noticing is that with my round brush, because it has this handle, for one, when I have the blow dryer, I can direct the heat, necessarily not in my face. When I get around sensitive parts like right here, I can blow the air that way. And because this has a handle, my hand never really touches the hot part right here. Because there's obviously like a lot with this thick of hair and it being curly. There's a lot of touching going on, as I'm combing through. And so this gets really hot. I think I did burn myself like a little bit. So that's good to know. But just another thing that I noticed. Also, when I get to this part of my head, I usually, even though I split it into 4s, I usually start to do this piece first. And then I get to the front later, but that's just because my curl pattern right here is the worst. So it needs some TLC, some focus. So far I'm also noticing the front of my hair is definitely a looser, softer curl than the back, and it is blow drying quicker. Now, I don't know if it's because this hair is more dry than the back was because it's been sitting here. It's still pretty damp, but that pass that I just did for how thick it was pretty quickly. So I'm not sure if it's because the hair was a little bit more dry or if it's because the softer curl, but because it's so straight, I'm gonna say it's probably because it's a little softer curl. So if you have more curls that are soft like this versus my back, which is really, really kinky, this product probably will work just fine. I would never ever do a section this big, this is crazy. But you see how the tension is so much better with the big sections, especially on the ends there. It's really grasping the ends now. Honestly, I can't believe we're on the last section already. Like, this is probably the fastest I've ever blow dried my hair. I will say I am impressed at that. Well, my tune has definitely changed a little bit. So I'm gonna go back through just a little bit. That's probably actually a little too much. A little bit more heat protectant, and I'm gonna do one last blow dry pass, get it as straight as I can, go back and straighten out the back. But we're like 30 minutes in and my whole head is done. Like, that's crazy. That's crazy. So let's do this pass and then I will give you my full review. I actually really do like that the bristles are wide enough that I can brush through my hair like this. It's really getting the scalp and root nice and dry. Wow. So this is my finished product. I'm gonna just brush it out a little bit so you guys can see. So it's, you know, a little bit big, but it's pretty silky. It's really even. The ends aren't my favorite, but you know, man, overall, I'm happy. I was not convinced in the beginning. I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be returning this in the beginning, but after a couple of tries and understanding how it works a little better, I mean, I am a happy customer. There are still some things that I don't like about it, but overall, first of all, I have never, ever blow dried my hair that fast. Like at least like a minimum 45 minutes, probably an hour. So the things that were different that I thought I didn't like and now I realize that I kind of do are the thicker sections. So you need the thicker sections and you do have to do a couple more passes through it, but honestly, overall, that's such a huge time saver. So with the blow dryer and the round brush, every tiny section I have to put down the blow dryer, turn it off, put down the rolling brush, roller brush, do another section, turn it back on. So that in itself, that I didn't have to do that because it's all in one, saves time. On top of the fact that I can do thicker portions, saved a huge amount of time. I still don't like that it's so hot. I like burned myself several times. So I'll have to get better with that. But I do, like I was saying, I like that the bristles are thicker because like with this round brush, how I went back through in the end, this round brush does do it, but it's definitely only on the surface because these bristles are so small, but they're thick together, which is why this one holds more tension. Whereas these bristles are larger, they don't hold as much tension in the same way. But when I comb my hair through this, it's just the surface. But this one's like really getting in that baby, nice and straight. I like that my arms aren't as tired because normally I'd be like this the whole time. This gives you a lot of like range. It's easy to use. If you guys couldn't tell, because I know that this was going like really super fast forward, but the front of my hair is probably a little bit more straight than the back, silky wise. And I do think that that's due to the different curl. So if you have a lighter, looser curl, I think this would be an awesome product for you. I wouldn't even, you know, double think it. It works great. And could I get it a little more straight with my typical way? Yes, I do believe that the traditional round brush does maybe get it more straight because it like can concentrate in on the ends a little bit, so it would look a little more like this than like that. But for the time that I saved, it's worth it. Also, if you're the person who's going to be wearing it like this, then maybe you don't want it, but 9 times out of 10 I'm gonna flat iron my hair anyway. So for me to save time and it still look decent, like if I don't want to flat iron my hair in the morning, I don't have to. It's gonna be a little poofy, but like I still look presentable, you know. So buy it. I'm gonna give it a 10 out of 10. I was skeptical. Okay, I'm gonna give it a 9.5. You know, the traditional way will always probably be better. I'm not gonna burn my hand off, but I am impressed. Look at this, guys. So if you have ethnic hair and you're thinking about getting an all-in-one, I'm gonna show you the box. Go get it. Again, this is the Hot Tools all-in-one, black and gold, one-step detachable blowout volumizer. So, oh, it says for ease and use of portability is why it detaches. That's weird. But they have different colors. They have a white one, a white and silver one, which is the one I really wanted, but for their Black Friday sale, they didn't have that. This one, it works great. So I am one happy customer. Thanks for watching my review. Goodbye.